Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
And you better talk to me nicely. Next to blow, little bitch, I might be. Oh. Can't forget all the days they overpriced me. So now that we up, don't get advice from no. Talk to me nicely. I know that they heated, we getting icy. Whoa. Can't forget all the moments they overpriced me. So now that we up, don't get advice from no. We on top, flipping the bird, they going sick. But I'ma make a meet.
Hey, everybody. It is I, Hope Giselle. And I know y'all are like, oh my gosh, she back. We getting a live show. And yes, I am. I am back. My body has finally stopped playing with me. My body is like, girl, you gonna get some rest one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? And so this time it wasn't my schedule. It was my body saying that your schedule is too much for me, girl. You're not gonna keep doing this to us. But I am back this week to talk about the thing that everybody else named Mama is talking about this week, and that is the Renaissance. Okay? So let me tell y'all something. Miss Beyonce, queen of all queens, mother of all mother of the new house of Renaissance, has come out with a film for her award-winning, her record-smashing, her world tour entitled Renaissance. And let me just tell y'all something. The pandemonium around the film was just as much as the pandemonium around the actual movie. And the kids showed up and showed out per all of the motherfucking videos on the TikTok and the Instagram and the YouTubes. Y'all saw the kids in the theater. Y'all saw the kids doing choreography. Y'all saw the kids crying. Y'all saw the kids filming against Beyonce's Better Judgment. Right? But y'all saw the kids enjoying the film. And I want to say right away, I enjoyed the film not once, but twice. And for those of you all who are wondering whether or not Renaissance, the film, is worthy of your time and attention, whether it just be, if you're one of those people who, like me, wanted to just go ahead and grab your little Renaissance 10 from AMC, okay? I had to get my Renaissance 10. I had to get my little Renaissance cuppy. Now, I will let y'all know, because I was a little disappointed. I thought that the cup and the 10 were going to be like that little metal material. The cup is indeed plastic. So if you're like me and you were expecting to get a little tin cup, it wasn't given what they thought it was going to be giving. It did not give the way I thought it was going to have gave. And AMC got some explaining to do, Lucy, because I really wanted me a tin cup too. But it's okay. And it don't even have a lid. You see, AMC really tried us because it don't even have a lid, okay? But you see, y'all know Hope is a bougie chick, okay? So I went on over to the Alamo, right? Which is kind of like iPick theaters where they, bring your things to your seat. And iPick, they have the official merchandise, but iPick was like, nah, we gonna make some merchandise, okay? iPick's had us in there with personalized drinks that were themed after songs and moods from the album. They gave us the cute cup with a lid, AMC. And it's twistable. It's not a pop lid either. It's a twist lid. So I know that my drink, my beverage, my coolant is gonna stay in this cup, okay? Just saying, those were the two, as it pertains to the theaters, I'm just saying. I got a cup with a lid when I went on over to the Alamo, and they treated me like a first class citizen, okay? Over there at AMC, they just gave everybody what you paid for, and some of what I paid for wasn't what I expected, but it's okay. It's okay. Do better, AMC. Do better. Anyway, the film was a really great film if you were a person who has not been to the concert. And I'm saying this because when I give this film my rating, I don't need y'all in the comments coming after me, my network, my producer, all of the friends and family over here on Pyro, because y'all feel some type of way about my rating. I'm giving the film an 8.5 because I went to the concert, and I went to the concert more than one time, okay? If you are a person who was not fortunate fortunate enough to be able to afford them high-ass astronomical prices that they were being gouged for after they initially went on sale, then I understand why you might assume that this film is like the end-all be-all. It's the best concert film you've seen in the history of concert films. And it's because you had not seen the concert. And so therefore, a lot of the things that we experienced there on the floor, in Club Rennie, you know what I'm saying? And Beehive A and B in the hundreds and the 200s, some of them, you know what I'm saying? Like the things that we experienced in the moment, y'all were just not getting to experience in the theater. And so a lot of y'all gave it a 10 out of 10 out of 10 because you were compiling your thoughts of seeing the concert for the first time with the documentary pieces that a lot of us were really hoping that the film was filled with more. I'm giving it the 8.5 because I wanted more of a documentary. I had already been to the concert. I wanted to know the ins and outs of the concert. I wanted to know the ins and outs of like where the music came from. I wanted to see more in studio recording. I wanted to know where some of these words came from. I wanted more cameos of some of the voices on the album. And yes, I'm being biased because she's my auntie, but also I'm being biased because Cozy is one of the top songs off of this album, specifically because of T.S. Madison's voice, and to not have T.S. Madison get her moment, her, Kevin moment that Kevin got in the film. I would have loved to see where Beyonce was, or like what the conception behind using T.S. Madison's iconic voice was. Like, where the fuck was Beyonce where the producers! This feels like the Wendy show some days, because why would you do that? Anyway, oh my gosh, shady producers. But yes, I would have loved to know like where the fuck Beyonce was when she saw this video, and like what were her thoughts behind putting Madison's voice in the song. Like, did she already know Madison? Was this her first time being turned on to Madison? Like, how was Madison introduced into this scene? Like, I feel like there were so many other people who got their shot to like, like for us to know that. But there were people who we didn't really care about. Like, no tea, no shade to the young lady who lost her wig and got the job the next day. But I wanted to know where the fuck you found Honey Balenciaga at. Like, I know that you found Honey on the floor. I know that you found Honey through the ads, and you had probably seen Honey around because Honey had become more mainstream and was doing things. But like, I wanted to know how the fuck you found Honey. You know what I'm saying? Like, Honey was a star of the show. Old girl who lost her wig real quick. Like, I didn't really pay her no attention like that, for real, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's just like, for me, I wanted to see more of the queer representation that made the album what it was, be spotlighted, and understand where that came from and how it influenced the music and how it impacted the dancing and all of those things. I love the moments about the stage and what it took to create it and how it, how you built it and all of those things. But I just feel like, as a person who had already been to the concert, I could have done without several of those numbers and done with a lot more content about how this was made and created. I honestly think that we should have gotten 2 different films. I feel like we should have gotten a concert film where it was just concert straight through, the same way that she did with the Beyonce Experience. And then maybe on the other side of the DVD, there's like another extra that has this documentary. But I would have loved to see a 3-hour documentary about Renaissance, and y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel, because personally, I think that the wardrobe for Renaissance is a movie in and of itself. Like, the wardrobe for Renaissance is a 2-hour and 36-minute movie by itself. There were over 400 and something costumes made for this one world tour, and Beyonce only got through about 160 of those costumes. So imagine how much more glitz, glam, whatever, all of the things that like imagine all of these things. And the rumors are saying that some of the looks that she's showing up to for the Renaissance World movie premiere are some of the extra costumes that were left over, which is why she's giving it so tough on this red carpet, because these were actually supposed to be like costume act that she wore on the stage. And I would have loved to see the different perspective from different designers about what they were thinking, how Beyonce chose the designers that she chose. Like, every night, I'm sure it was like playing dress up. Like, it was so interesting and intricate to see the costumes come alive. But I would have loved to know like the story behind them. Like, all of these major fashion houses contributed to this tour, and it would have just been nice to know about it, right? And so outside of like the music and the influence behind that, we're talking about the camera. Like there were just so many other things that I felt like I could have spent my 3 hours watching than more clips of the concert that I had already gotten my life on. Like this woman is a mastermind genius when it comes down to lighting and when it comes down to sound and when it comes down to optic. And it would have just been really, really nice to get more of the behind the scenes and get more up in her business about the creation of the tour. Like not even on some, oh, I want to be up in Beyonce's personal business, but I think that the creation of this tour is so beautiful and the parts that we were let in on were so intricate in and of themselves that it just made me hungry for more. So I'm hoping that maybe like Beyonce hears the cries of the people who had already gone. I'm hoping that AMC hears the cries of the people who have already gone. And maybe they do something else because we know that they can't do another Renaissance themed movie, right? And so I wonder if there's an opportunity to partner with AMC again for the next project, but have it actually be a documentary, or if Miss Beyonce is going to get together with Netflix and do a thing over there, or possibly with Disney Plus again. Who knows? Who knows? But I will say, like I said, had I not seen the concert already, I might be with y'all in the 10 out of 10 boat. But because I've already seen the concert, it's giving a strong 8.5 for me, but only because I wanted more documentary, not because I don't think that the film is absolutely amazing. And everyone who is a Beyonce fan, think you not a Beyonce fan, wants to be a Beyonce fan, but is not sure why you should be, like, go and see this film. I think that anyone who adores like amazing work ethic and anybody who adores, awesome performers who genuinely enjoy their job is going to enjoy this film. Now, I will say that there was a little backlash after this movie premiered, and it was all because of this photo right here that production is going to drop in just a second. So, Miss Mama Tina decided that she was going to do what mamas do, right? And she came on across a video that was basically defending Beyonce's heritage after Beyonce appeared at her LA viewing of the movie, okay? Now, if y'all don't know, at the LA premiere of this movie, Beyonce was late. She didn't do red carpet with everybody else, but when she did do red carpet, everybody's jaws dropped, some for great reasons, some for not so great reasons, and Mama Tina was responding. Y'all can pause it. It's been up here. So if you're watching this on the playback, don't ask me to do the things, but I want y'all to sit on some of the stuff that Mama Tina is saying here. Because when we get back from the break, I want to show y'all this picture that got everybody up in arms and made Mama Tina say this. And then we're going to have a conversation so y'all can see if y'all agree with the folks, disagree with the folks, or if y'all agree with me, because y'all know I have my own thoughts. So as soon as we get back from the break, we'll talk about it. See y'all in a second.
Talk to me nicely. Next to blow, little bitch, I might be. Oh, can't forget all the days they overpriced me. So now that we up,
In a world filled with diversity, where radical faith and progressive believers come together, there's a place that's breaking all boundaries and embracing believers from all walks of life. Bullet and Flight Radio, where believers unite, boundaries break, and love triumphs. Step away from the chaos and noise of your daily life. Experience moments for yourself that are calm, serene, and full of peace. A necessary respite to foster growth within you, because self-care should be luxurious. Luxor Noir.
I noticed they hit it, we getting icy. Whoa, can't forget all the moments they overpriced me. So now that we up, don't get
All right, y'all. I am back. And if you are just now tuning into the show, today we are talking all things Renaissance with a little hint of something else at the end. Because I had some stuff on my mind about that particular topic, and it wasn't going to be relevant next week. So I'm giving it to y'all this week after we finish talking about Miss Beyonce, okay? So for all of you all who went to see the film or have been tracking the film and how it's been doing, y'all saw what Miss Beyonce looked like on the opening night of the LA premiere of the show. And this is what she looked like, okay? Now, I understand that the theme is giving Alien Superstar. I understand that the theme is giving very much so Donatella Made My Dress. I understand that the theme is giving platinum. I understand that the carpet was silver. I understand that the curtains were silver. I understand all of the things, okay? But as a Beehive member since 1997, let me tell y'all something. Production, remove this photo from my face real fast so the people can see me when I say this. I love Beyonce. I love her for real. I love this lady down. But let me tell y'all why I understand where some of the pause came from this particular time, okay? Now, in the past, I have definitely been one of the people who have doubled down and fought tooth and nail when people have done the, oh my God, Beyonce trying to be white. Oh my God, Beyonce bleaching her skin. Oh my gosh, she's just too light, bright. Like, yeah, we know she light skinned, but that's just too light, da 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 da. Right? Like, I've been one of those people that have done the whole lighting, makeup, lighting, hair color, lighting, makeup, lighting, hair color. Right? I've been one of those people. I'm not one of those people this time. And do y'all want to know why? Because as meticulous as we just watched Beyonce be in this film, and as meticulous as we've seen Beyonce be on regular pictures that she posts on her Instagram when she's not doing something, y'all got me fucked up if y'all expect me to believe that Miss Beyonce knows posted this motherfucking picture and did not go over it with a fine-tooth comb. And you want to know how I know that she did? Because sis is snatched. Sis is beautiful. Sis is gorgeous. But sis is not that snatched. She's not that unwrinkled. And she's not that pulled together. So therefore, there is editing that goes into these pictures. And these photos from the red carpet were no motherfucking different. There was editing that went into those photos before they were posted. And my thing is, if we saw it, Beyonce, you saw it, Beyonce, okay? So you're not gonna tell me that you didn't see that your skin looked a little extra washed out, and maybe we should add a little hint of editing to get that back up in there. Because this right here, this woman right here, if I blinked too fast, if I turned my head too fast, if I wasn't paying attention, I would assume that this was a white woman, right? People are trying to give it to Kim Kardashian. I'm not necessarily giving that to Kim Kardashian, but if I blunk, right? If I had blunk real fast, I would not think or assume automatically that that was a black woman. Nevertheless, that was Beyonce, okay? And with the amount of attention to detail that this woman pays, I think that a little, hey, y'all, could we lower the tone of my skin about 2 notches because I'm looking real washed out? This is the same woman that said black women don't look good in blue light. Don't put me in no blue light. But you got them out here washing you out like this, and you posted it on your Instagram for the world to see. And now motherfuckers got an issue. And maybe had this still been like the early 2000s, I would give it to you. But knowing the amount of work and the amount of X, Y, and Z, and there's even a shot on in the movie where she gets the pictures, and I guess she chooses them and edits them however she wants them and probably sends them back before they go up on Instagram. So you're not going to tell me that you looked at these photos and did not see how washed out you looked and did not think to have that edited before it went posted, which means that part of me believes that there is nothing, that you didn't find anything wrong with the fact that you were washed out. Or because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck if she is Beyonce. She's a celebrity. You wanted people to have something else to talk about. Now, mind you, we can act like everybody is so above it. We can act like Beyonce is Jesus and she's so above the hype and the clout and she don't need it and the film is doing well. So why would she need to post a scandal? But at the end of the day, this is what PR firms are for. This is why people build such a cult following, because if nobody is talking shit about your fave, right? If no one is talking shit about your fave, you have nothing to defend. So every now and then, your fave got to give bitches reasons, even more reasons, right, to talk their shit so that y'all can talk y'all shit. And one thing that I can say, and one thing that I think we can all agree on, is that Beyonce love the Beehive and the Beehive love her back. I think that sometimes she does shit purposely to make the Beehive go zzz real fast because it makes her feel good. It makes her feel good to go through the comments. It makes her feel good to watch everybody get red without her having to say certain things. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and play like, to be a celebrity or to be famous or to want to be an entertainer, you don't have to be a little bit narcissistic. Me as a Leo, number one, and number two, as somebody who likes to entertain, I'm not going to sit up here and act like there's not a little piece of me that doesn't sit in narcissism. And it's because you enjoy having people give you your flowers on a constant basis. Beyonce is no different. I don't think that she's any different. I think that every now and then she enjoys watching us gather these motherfucking people by their ponytail and drag them around the motherfucking parking lot a little bit. And then she recedes back to doing nothing because that's the way she like her life, right? But I don't think that any of these moves that were made and are being made come by accident. They are all done strategically, and I think that Beyonce knows exactly what the fuck she's doing, because in the next premiere, she went on ahead and darkened up them roots and made sure that she had a little bit of bronzer on and all of the things. So my thing is, post all of the motherfucking shady I'm a black woman pictures after you want to, do the X, Y, and Z, but you knew how that picture looked when they posted it on your official page because, bitch, you're Beyonce. So you're not going to convince me that you didn't see how that picture looked before people started going in on your ass. You knew exactly what the fuck was going to happen. You got your life. You cackled and you kikied as the girls got red in your behalf. And then you went on about your business like you always do, because that is what Beyonce does. She's a problematic ass fucking Virgo, and we love it. We live for it. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Mama Tina came through and did what she was supposed to do as a mother, and we all appreciate that. I think that in this particular statement, Mama Tina wanted to reiterate to the people that this woman speaks on black, on black, on black, and what it means to be blackity black, 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 black. And once again, the producers are putting it up for you all. And this is how Mama Tina felt. And she doesn't often get a chance to say many things about when people are attacking her daughter and attacking, the way that Beyonce shows up. But I think that in this particular moment, we were all, in agreement with Mama Tina, because there were some people who were doing the most, right, with this headline. And there were a lot of people who were trying to take this headline somewhere where it definitely had no business going. And it's one thing for me as a fan to sit back and say, like, oh, I can see the nuance in this. But when it's your child and you've probably and likely been going through this for years, it's not my place to tell Mama Tina she need to sit her ass down and deal with it, or understand how the industry works, or understand X, Y, and Z. And my thing is, some of y'all are gonna be like, oh, but it's her mama. Why would she? There's plenty of evidence to say that Mama Tina gets on Beyonce's nerves, just like every other mama gets on our nerves. You know what I'm saying? And I think that Beyonce is very private, even with her mother, because of the way that Mama Tina is. At the end of the day, your mama is your mama is your mama, and there's not an amount of celebrity in the world that's gonna stop your mama from being your mama. So I do think that there's just certain things that Beyonce don't tell Miss Tina, because I ain't got time to be going through it with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my thing on that. I do want to have time to talk through this next topic here, though, and it is Mr. Saucy Santana. Y'all, recently, Saucy Santana was on a podcast, and if you don't know who Saucy is famous for being really good friends with the City Girls, more famously best friends with Carisha, or Young Miami of the City Girls. It's giving Carisha Please. It's giving very much so, girl, that Chanel used to be fake, but it's not no more. It's giving very much so, Unbig My Back. It's giving all of the viral moments between Saucy Santana and Carisha, but also it's giving Walk 'em Like a Dog. It's giving very much so, I Have Hits. It's giving very much so, I'm going to be on my way as soon as I lose this weight that the industry wants me to lose, because that's what the fuck they want, because you can't be big and gay. You got to choose one, but that's for another video for another time, okay? Anyway, Saucy Santana was recently invited onto a podcast and has some interesting things to say about the idea of child rearing. Now, I'm going to play these videos for y'all, and then we're going to have a talk.
See, man, I miss you, man. Do you want kids?
I think for me, just being honest, I'm just worried about how to raise a kid, and just me being gay, and I feel like if I have a son, I would want my son to be gay, and not because nothing is wrong with it, but because of everything that I went through.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that may be a little bit of self-hate, that you wouldn't want your son to be a reflection of who you are? Like, I know, and I understand the trauma you probably have to go to, but do you kind of feel like
I don't never look at it as self-hate, because I love myself more than anybody. I think that it's just not easy. So that's why I kind of equated it to like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all like, hey, I grew up in the projects. I don't want my child to, you know, I just feel like I want better. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know if better is the right word, because it's not saying to me nothing is wrong with being gay, but
you want the world to treat gay people better.
Yeah,
and you can't control that.
And you can't control that.
I get it.
So there's a couple of things happening here, and a lot of it I understand and I agree with. Howsoever, the Twitter streets and gay Black Twitter have been ripping Saucy a new ass, okay? And I think that some of this energy is misplaced for my gay boys, okay? And before y'all get into the whole idea of, oh, Hope, you are always advocating about speaking on your experience. Bitch, I used to be a gay boy. Y'all forgot I grew up 18 whole motherfucking years as a gay boy. You don't get to take that experience away from me just because of what I'm living and how I deal now. I know what it means to have these conversations. I know what it means to be a part of these conversations. And I know what it means to be y'all at some point to some extent. So before y'all get to talking about where I'm putting my nose and where I'm putting my conversation, I put my experience where my mouth is, goddammit. I don't erase it. I don't act like it was never there. So before y'all hop in the group chat talking about what I can't discuss because I am not, I've had the experience. Some of y'all be talking about trans women and trans issues at whole, and y'all ain't so much as thought about putting a wig on, let alone living our experience, which is why I get y'all together. This is not the same thing, so do not equate the two, because I'm gonna read your ass for filth in the comments, okay? Now that we've gotten that out of the way, when it comes down to this conversation, I love the fact that Saucy got to the nitty gritty, because the question was, I hate when people ask a question when really the goal of that question was get to another question. The goal was to get to the question that Saucy made y'all answer without y'all having to ask, which was, do you think you can raise a young boy? Because that's where that conversation was going. And I hate when people ask one thing or say one thing with the idea that it's going to be one conversation, but then they turn around and do a whole other thing, knowing that the intention of asking this thing was to have this conversation. So I was very happy that Saucy didn't let them play him and just jumped into the question that he knew that they were all thinking, which is, do you believe that as an effeminate gay Black man that you can raise a Black man? Now, a lot of y'all are upset because y'all are saying things like, oh, you know, just because you're gay doesn't mean that you can't raise a boy, or just because you're gay doesn't mean that X, Y, and Z, or maybe if you took all of that stuff off, you wouldn't have these issues or you wouldn't have these problems and blah, 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 blah. And my thing is, some of y'all are real ignorant, okay? Because the issue here is that Saucy answered the question and the questions that were going to be asked, right? None of that had anything to do with the idea of him doing away with his ability to raise a child. He just understands that the way that the child would have to experience life, should they be a queer person, it would be too difficult for him to constantly protect, because people were not there to constantly protect him. And I think that any queer person under the umbrella can understand this, because even if you came from a loving home with loving parents or loving guardians, when you went out into the world, there was always a bitch out there, even if it was just one, that had some shit to say about your chosen lifestyle. And so, because you cannot constantly protect your children from that, it is something that he, as a gay man who understands this firsthand, does not necessarily think that he has the capacity to be able to rear a child through, because he barely made it his motherfucking self. And this is the God's honest truth. When I think about what it means to want to be a mom, I cannot wait to be somebody's mommy. But I also understand that what comes with that is not just the ridicule of me, but once my child becomes of age and they stop seeing my child as a child, usually around the age of 5 or 6, that's when motherfuckers start to feel like it's comfortable to drop tea to your children. I don't know what the fuck it is with Black people specifically, or in communities of color, but it's like a child turns 6 years old and y'all start pouring little shit into them. And that's the reason y'all got these motherfucking mongrels running around at school being rude and negligent and horrible to other other people's children. Y'all start to pour these things into these children. They come back, and now you have to have premature conversations with the children, which y'all claim y'all don't want us having, but y'all are the reason that we're forced to have them, because y'all are sending y'all children to school with these little bits of tea. It just becomes a whole thing. And so I definitely understood where Saucy was coming from when it comes down to the idea of the fears that go around raising a child when you are a queer person, and specifically when you are a Black gay man trying to raise a young boy, the stigmas around you and then the stigmas around your child, should that child be queer, are just a lot. And if you're not a person who wants to be with the rah-rah, who wants to go with the stuff, if you're not a Sojourner Truth ass bitch like me, I can understand why you might not want to have children at all, because it just does not seem like the risk and the reward match up enough when you could just have a bunch of nephews and nieces and a bunch of gay children that people don't necessarily hold you to the same regard for. But when you are raising a child that is your biological or that is your adopted, so it's yours by law, people have a different set of standards and thoughts around the ways in which this child is raised and who gets to raise this child. And so I think that while some of you all are misplacing the anger around some of the things that Saucy has said and done in the past, I genuinely think that this was a responsible answer from somebody who does not believe that they are capable to genuinely be supportive in the way that they would want to show up for their child, because they saw that there was a lack of support for them. The idea that the world is changing a little bit, the idea that Saucy is who Saucy is, does not change the fear that a lot of us have. There are still some of us that refuse to go to Jamaica because we understand the culture there is trifling. And it does not matter how much the world is changing. We understand that there are just certain things that we are afraid to do. And I think that if a person is genuinely telling y'all that they are afraid to raise a child because they are unsure of their ability to protect that child, then why not respect that, considering that there are people out here who are doing their fucking most to have them and have no idea what they're going to do in situations like this. At least, you know, Saucy is showing responsibility by telling us that he's at least thought these things over and thought them through in a way that wasn't selfish and that wasn't just about him wanting a mini me or wanting another person, but was really telling about the idea that if I'm going to do this for a kid, I want this kid to have their best shot. And I am not sure if I can give them their best shot, considering who I am in the world and who they might have the potential to become in the world. And that's that on that. Now, some of y'all are going to agree. Some of you all are going to disagree. But I would love to know your thoughts on this in the comments. I'm definitely going to come back and read them because I just want to hear what you all have to say. If you got a thought about the Saucy Santana thing, leave it in the comments. If you have thoughts about my, my 8.5 review of the Renaissance film, leave those in the comments. And I'm going to leave you all with my final thoughts. When it comes down to it, you all, my final thoughts for this week are simple. If you work hard, if you bust your ass, if you go out of your way to become the best version of yourself, you may, not will, you may, not will, you might, not will, somehow, if the cookie crumbles in your favor, it might just work out that you will be a person that will be well respected for that work. But sometimes that does not always work. And if you are only doing it so that you can get the cheers from the crowd or be the next Beyonce or be the next Saucy or be the first X, Y, and Z, you will soon find out that sometimes the path that you want for yourself is not the path that life has ordained for you. And you're going to constantly be in your feelings. But that does not mean that you stop working hard at the things that you love, because those are the things that keep you going and motivated to do the shit that you have to do so that you can do the shit that you want to do. And don't ever forget that. Until next time, have the day that you deserve, and I'll see y'all around. Bye, everybody.
Talk to me nicely. I noticed they heated, we getting icy. Whoa, can't forget all the moments they overpriced me. So now that we up, don't good advice, we know.